Hello, Steve White, Steve White's 89. Well, this is my Linda Carter Wonder Woman. This is from the DC Multiverse, which I think Mattel did. So that existed before McFarlane. So I thought McFarlane sort of invented that. But I think this is supposed to be a 6-inch figure. She's a little taller because she's Wonder Woman, but she actually ends up being less in height than the other McFarlane figures, which are all 7. So she doesn't quite fit. She does fit in with the NECA figures, so I've always had her along with my NECA 66 Batman and 89 Batman. They sort of all go together. But we haven't had many Wonder Women from McFarlane. We had, of course, a couple of versions of the Gal Gadot version from the films. Unfortunately, her foot is broken on mine, so it's glued in place. But they did a couple of versions, and I had to remove her hair to put her tiara on, and now her hair shifts. But the only other McFarlane one I'm aware of that they did is the Batman 66 Wonder Woman from the it's not the Batman 66 meets Wonder Woman 77 version, Linda Carter version, but I mean, costume wise it is, but likeness wise it isn't. So I'm wondering if there's an issue there with Linda Carter's likeness. I've heard that McFarlane doesn't like female characters, and he has neglected a lot of female characters that should have been released along with all the others. Now, I really only care about Wonder Woman and Batgirl, maybe Catwoman, so I didn't really notice people missing, characters that weren't being done or being given attention. But apparently they're releasing a first appearance Wonder Woman, how she first appeared in the first comic. And that's interesting. But that's not the Wonder Woman that I sort of grew up watching. I want sort of the 80s contemporary Linda Carter, sort of 70s, 80s Wonder Woman, not so much the newer ones that do look more like Gal Gadot. They're more like a warrior as opposed to the classic sort of uniform. And I'm worrying that I'm not going to get it, because we've got the 66 Batman in the 7-inch multiverse line. We've got the Christopher Reeve Superman. We've got the 89 Batman. So my Batman and Superman live action ones are covered, but I don't have my Linda Carter. I've also got the Henry Cavill, and I'm going to get the David Cornsweet one because I like the figure and I like the costume on the figure, and in some of the pictures and some of the clips I've seen, it actually does look good. It doesn't look good in person. The overall design has some issues, but I like the toy, so I'm getting it. So whatever, judge me for that, or let that prove that I'm not a hater who's just hating the film for the sake of it. If something's good about it, I'll acknowledge it, and I think the figures did look good, so I'm getting that. But I am worried I'm not going to get a Linda Carter Wonder Woman, or even a contemporary like Wonder Woman, because I've got like Aquaman and Dr. Fate, and there's a few other characters, Joker from like the sort of comic era from 70s, 80s, 90s, which they've produced, like this, and they're doing the Super Friends ones. So I really hope we get a Linda Carter or a contemporary 7-inch Wonder Woman, not the, well, I say contemporary, I'm thinking 70s, 80s, 90s, before she sort of became a warrior in armour, when she had the original classic uniform on. That's what I want. I want one Wonder Woman in that scale, because as you can see, if you put this Linda Carter with this Gal Gadot, you know, she's like a scale smaller, and it really shows. So hopefully we'll get a Wonder Woman, because the sort of opinion seems to be that he doesn't like women. He's not going to do many female characters, and we're lucky we got one Wonder Woman. And I had heard there was another comic version that was basically the same mold as the first appearance Wonder Woman, but that's unclear to me whether people are talking about that, like it's two different figures, or maybe there's a variation or something. But as far as I can tell, the only one we've had is the first appearance Wonder Woman, which has the sort of hair back, and then like the sort of curly hair on the ends, and just the different, you know, costume with a little mini skirt and everything. And yeah, I might get that one, but that's not the one I really want. So hopefully before this is all over and done with, we'll get at least one classic sort of iconic, you know, Wonder Woman that isn't the vintage one or the modern contemporary movie one. So I don't know if anyone's heard anything, let me know, but I haven't heard anything. I'm hoping that happens because we've got nearly a year of releases left before he loses the contract, and my understanding is he's going to go right up to the last day releasing stuff, because they've got like 6 months after that when they can still market and sell things without any issues with the new licensee. But we'll see. I'm just putting it out in the universe. Hopefully we get it.